When architects design new buildings, they, I suppose logically, design the biggest elements first. The building's footprint on the earth, as seen from above, the building's height, shape, and interior divisions. At the end of this process, the small things get decided. All the things we touch when we use the space, the floors, windows and doors, buttons, handrails. I can't help but wonder what would emerge from reversing this. I'd like to know if it is possible to design an entire building around a single doorknob. The best object to provide scale on a photo showing a small object is written by user Ambrose on March 1st, 2011 at 11:14 UTC. Pen or pencil, 7%. Coin, 27%. Ruler, 38%. Credit card, 8%. CD, 4%. Floppy disk, 2%. Door key, 1%. Keyboard, 1%. Thimble, 1%. Drinking glass, 2%. Human hand or finger, 8%. 556 total votes. Plaster, joint compound, balsa wood, acrylic paint, colored pencil, aluminum, tile mosaic, paper, denim. You are 173 centimeters tall. Your belly button is 109 centimeters off the ground when you are not wearing shoes. Your hands are 21 centimeters long from the base of your palm to the tip of your longest finger. You say, I was always embarrassed of my hands for being so long and feminine. Do you think they're feminine? I say, I do, but also the way that you use them when you talk. Torahs are hand calligraphy documents written on scrolls of parchment in which the complete accuracy of every word, line, and mark are of absolute importance. Each scroll takes approximately a year and a half to produce, written by an expert scribe, and a single error will make an entire scroll unacceptable for use. The scrolls themselves are extremely fragile, and care must be taken not to touch the parchment or writing itself with one's bare hands. When reading from the scroll, in order to keep one's place in the dense text, a tool known as a yod is used. A yod, meaning hand in Hebrew, is a silver or brass rod around the size of a long pencil with a miniature sculpted hand on one end, its fingers folded back so that it always points with its index finger at one spot in the text. I've always had a barely conscious body habit in which I make line drawings with the muscles in my legs, back, and shoulders. In this private game, I minutely contract and relax the muscles as if I am controlling the nib of a pencil that is attached to my frame. I don't think anyone can see me doing it. I draw flowers or write out simple words and sentences like, hello, I am no one. He said, maybe you should get me some leather gloves. A brick that ends up in the ocean, if it manages to get washed ashore, will eventually be made round, its hard edges worn away from the impact of the waves grinding it into the sand as it rolls back and forth in the moving water. A plumb bob is a pointed, tapered brass or bronze weight, which is suspended from a cord for determining verticality. The plumb bob, when used correctly, will always tell its user exactly which way is down. The plumb in plumb bob comes from the fact that such tools were originally made of lead. The Latin for lead is plumbum. The adjective plumb, meaning properly aligned, developed by extension, as did the noun aplomb, for the notion of standing upright, which we now use to mean self-possession, especially under duress. She asks me, how am I supposed to change when I can't describe how I want to be? How can I desire something I can't name? He made me a calzone to eat on the train, wrapping it in plastic and putting it in a bag with a paper napkin. On the 7-hour journey, I ate it halfway there, guiltily, slightly hoping to make the stranger next to me jealous. I have always been decent at spelling. I can see and feel the words, usually handwritten or typed, and know what order of letters looks right and what looks off. I am still mad at my second grade teacher for correcting, in her red pen, my uncapitalized spelling of my favorite name, Emma. Of course, I know that names are capitalized, but if written in cursive, all in lowercase letters, it just feels so good to write all those loops and curves, and it looks better too. I remember awkwardly attempting to explain this to her. A sandwich, a telephone, toilet paper, a down coat, a window, a chair, a mug, a bookend, a houseplant, a paperweight, a soap dish, an earring, a champagne flute. Thank you.